You can find research that's going to support what you have to say. But this is so critical and so vital that you move from, I have this idea, right? Hey, Bob, I have this idea. I think I can save you money. I think I can solve this problem. Bob's going to push back to a third party. Hey, Bob, I was working with a similar client to you guys out of Texarkana yesterday. And it's interesting, we had discovered that about 17% of their marketing spend was going out to customers that would never be customers at all. And I was curious, with the changes in how Meta and Google are doing their targeting, how you guys are dealing with that, call it 17 to 20% in wasted spend. How are you guys tackling that? You're going to find the conversation is much more open. As I say all the time at Easton University, you guys, all of the stuff that we teach will work in your personal life. Let me give you a personal life example of this. As a salesperson, if I reach out to Bob and say that sales coaching can increase his ability to close deals by 7 times, Bob's likelihood, because he's afraid, because he's a burn victim, he's tried something in the past, because he doesn't want to change, Bob's likelihood is exponentially greater that Bob is going to go, not interested, I'm all set, I'm all good, no thank you, bye, if I bring the idea up to Bob, than if I said something like, I was just given a keynote at an event in San Diego, and a number of the people in the audience came up to me, and what they said was, sales has really changed because customers today with social media, they've got a lot more access to information and they've got more choices than ever before. So kind of that old school way of selling where, your job was just to provide the information, put out a quote and hope for the best just really isn't working. And I was curious if that's what you're seeing at all with your clients. Now, I could change that and say, I was curious to see how you guys are handling that, which would be a better way. Now, I said this kind of stuff works in your personal life. Imagine if you were married and you met your spouse for a glass of wine in the afternoon and said, hey, I know we've been arguing about a lot of stuff and I've got some ideas on how we can improve our marriage, improve our relationship, and fix things so that we're not arguing. You probably just walked into an argument, right? But notice if you had the same problem, the same arguments in your marriage, you met your spouse for a glass of wine and said, oh man, so great hanging out with you. Hey, can you believe when we were at that party last night, can you believe how Terry and Steve were just going back and forth with each other, just nitpicking and nitpicking. Oh my God, I noticed that too. I thought Steve was gonna punch Terry. I know, right? God, I want to make sure that we never end up like that. Like, that is horrible. I know, right? I would just die if I was in a relationship. One of the things that I was thinking, if Terry and Steve just on a weekly basis set some time where the two of them could have wine together, man, they could probably work through a lot of their stuff and have that you should recommend. What if we did something like that every week? Yeah, that's not such a bad idea. I was just thinking about that. We were arguing about the kids yesterday and you always being late to their practices and sporting events. Man, I really wanted to talk. Yes, we need to make sure that we don't end up like Terry and Steve. In your personal life, if you try and get somebody to do something or see the world through your lens, your point of view, you're inherently going to get pushback. This is why people talk smack about other people, because it's easier for us to both be, instead of us going directly mano a mano, I've got an idea, not a good idea, but have you tried this? No, that doesn't work. Don't call me back again. For us to both look at an independent third source, and now we're both kind of pointing at the problem. Look at, man, wasn't that embarrassing how Terry and Steve were yelling at each other? One of the things that we're seeing with a lot of CPAs is they're not getting paid for the work that they're doing. Yeah, I can imagine that, right? I've kind of ran into that myself. And now the door is wide open for a much, much better conversation. Sales reps, managers, business owners, entrepreneurs, what I'm about to tell you, This is gonna hurt, but trust me, it will be well worth it. I want you to think back to that excitement you had when you first got started. Maybe it was your first day. You thought about all of the lives that you were gonna change with your amazing product, your business, your service, your solutions. And hey, let's be honest here, you were gonna make a lot of money in the process of helping people, helping businesses change their lives. But it didn't work out exactly that way, did it? If you're anything like me, if you're anything like most people in sales, you found it was just a little bit more difficult to close those deals than you thought, or maybe you're struggling right now. Now, I warned you, this is the part that's gonna hurt, but in order for this to work, you and I need to be honest with each other. I want you to think about all the reasons that you're not hitting your targets, all the reasons you're not making the sales that you had anticipated making. Is it the economy, your competition, your territory, your pricing? Maybe it's your manager, your product, your service, your solution. Here's the part that's gonna hurt. There's a 94% chance it is none of those, and it's time you face reality. The reason why you have to work so hard just to close a single deal has nothing to do with the economy, nothing to do with your competition, your territory, your manager, your product, your price, your service. The reason why it's so hard for you is you simply haven't learned a better sales process. But wait, you've had sales training from your company. Yeah, I did too. You've read some sales books. I read just about every single one of them. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, well, I was always born a salesperson. Nobody is born knowing how to sell more than they're born knowing how to speak Cantonese or fly an F-22 fighter jet. And by the way, the right sales process is a lot easier to learn than a language or flying an airplane, but you still have to learn it. My name is Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Easton University, and if you'll let me coach you, I can show you how to sell more than you've ever imagined without being pushy, without being manipulative, without following some super complex system where you spend more time trying to figure out what stage your deal is in than actually closing deals. If you will let me coach you, you will never, ever, ever, ever find yourself blaming the economy, your products, your price, your manager, your territory, your competition again, because you're gonna be in total control of the sales process and the outcomes. I've devoted my life to unlocking the perfect sales process, and I wanna coach you the same way I've helped thousands of other people in the exact same position that you are right now sell a reported $3.47 billion, yeah, that's billion with a B, over the last 12 months. I've been where you're at right now. I know how to help you. I can show you in just a matter of minutes what will take you years of trial and error to learn on your own. Now, if you've made it this far, but you're saying to yourself, it can't be that simple, just trying a new sales process alone will not get me to where I want to go. I know exactly what you're feeling. I said those exact same things, and I was wrong. Having the right sales process changed absolutely everything for me. So I want you to do me and yourself this favor and spend just a minute or two over at eastonuniversity.com checking out what we've built. Now, if you spend a couple minutes and you decide that our coaching can't help you, it can't help you change everything about your career, everything about your life, no harm, no foul. You can continue to do things the way you're doing them right now. But just imagine, what if you head over to eastonuniversity.com right now and it connects with you? What if it is that simple? Suddenly everything starts to make sense and everything changes for you. Your career, your income, your goals, your company. You start heading in the direction you always thought you could. Isn't it worth taking a couple minutes and seeing if that might be the case? Easton University is more than a platform. It's more than live coaching with me. It's your future, and you and your future are worth it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you and I have met each other, and I look forward to seeing you over at eastonuniversity.com right now.